Heated. American players or coaches are disrespected in England?
A pervading theme that Americans in soccer are still disrespected. Do you agree with that, Charlie?
I do, especially in England. And the reason why I say England is because if you look at history, 1950, the U.S. beats England in the World Cup.
Come on.
Listen, and you've never heard about that since. Literally, it wasn't celebrated in America. They didn't go to the World Cup until 1990, so there's no history of the sport. So when you're in England and you have that accent, they look at you like you don't know. You have no intelligence in the game.
Ouch.
It is, and other countries they've had world superstars. In America, you saw carragher was the first to go to Europe. We didn't have a Champions League winner who was playing until Christian Pulisic. That tells you, in terms of history, that Americans are looked down upon, in my opinion, from supporters, maybe not the players, but from supporters, that's the case.
Yeah, so are they looked down upon because the quality of players not being good enough, or are you blaming the fact that your players haven't gone to the Champions League or haven't gone to Europe on the fact that you're disrespected?
Well,
I don't know what you're trying to say.
What I'm saying is we didn't go to a World Cup for 40 years. And so when Americans are seen as a footballing nation, they're laughed at. It's a joke. And that's what I'm saying. And now we're starting to see more players be given credit because they're showing that they have the ability to succeed in Champions League, to succeed in the English Premier League.
But I always give credit to Clint, though. When I played against Clint, he was a good player, a fantastic player. I didn't think, and like you said, not me, but I'm just talking from my point of view. I never thought because he's American, I don't think he's good. I always thought he can play. It doesn't matter where he's from my point of view.
But Clint, what was your personal experience? Did you feel disrespected as an American playing in England?
I think regardless of anywhere you go, you have to earn your respect. Respect is earned and it's not given. But saying that, there are times that I felt like I couldn't be just as good as the other English players, British players, Irish players, Scottish or whatever. You know, I had to be better than them to get on the field.
When I walked into the locker room in France, there were a lot of questions that said, Americans, you're good at football and basketball, but soccer, proper football, we don't know yet. And then in training, you have to prove it that, hey, I deserve to be on the pitch and I deserve to be playing. So I get it. I've had to fight for everything in order to succeed. But I think you're starting on the back foot. Look at Bob Bradley, what he had to go through when he got that job in the English Premier League. But they started off with Brad Bobley, and they did that whole segment.
I totally agree with that. But do you think it's different from a player to a coach, or do you think it's the same? Because I get that feeling with coaches in terms of in the Premier League where Bob Bradley came, maybe Jesse Marsh at Leeds as well. And there is that feeling when they do interviews, listening to Americans speak about football.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've never got that feeling as players, though. I'm a little bit with Micah. I wouldn't look at Clint, or we had Brad Friedel, who was a goalkeeper in that club.
But the media. 1-1, USA wins. You know,
but that was American media. That was your media.
Yeah, but that's
hyped up about a draw.
But it's the same.
No, they said they won.
But the same thing. You guys looked at us in the group. You said, no chance that you guys can match
That's
us.
because we have better players, not because we disrespected America.
But I think you don't rate our players.
Hold on. Thierry picked up his mic, everybody.
Oh, the big man, the big dogs won't sin.
Ouch!
I just, you know, I can give you a lot of players that had to battle where they were from, or what they had to go through to reach whatever league. Nobody's going to give you anything. It doesn't matter where you are. It's about earning that respect, and I'm with you. Doesn't matter where you're from. You have to go and show those guys that you can win. Once you show them that you can win, they're going to love you. That's in the title. You know, respect and all of that. It doesn't matter your nationality. You can win with me. Okay, you can't win even if you're my dad. You got to go. It doesn't matter. You're not sitting with me in my dressing room. Dad, mom, kids, we're here to win. So it doesn't matter where you're from. But I'm going to flip this. I love basketball. Love basketball. Do you think the European players don't have it hard to come in the NBA? Oh! Well, let me finish. You guys talked a lot. You guys talked a lot. Now, who dominates in the NBA? Antetokounmpo, Jokic, Doncic.
Then I'll say an
Embiid.
NFL.
No, I'm just saying, do you stop or you try to earn your respect?
You earn your respect.
You try to earn your respect. This is what I'm saying.
100%.
Whether you're from America or Liberia, like George Weah, that had to go and battle Milan when you could only have 3 foreigners in your squad. He didn't say to himself, well, I'm Liberian, I'm not going to battle. You battle no matter what, people. Thank you very much.
So do you think it's rather that the Americans have an inferiority complex in this area? Do you think they're too sensitive?
I just think that whoever you are, if you think that and you say to yourself, I cannot do something because stay at home.
I think for coaches, it's very difficult to break in as an American manager. But maybe not for players. I agree with you.
I'll go back again. Go and do your research how Arsene Wenger was received in England when he arrived. Just go and do your research. Then you will find out if it was easy for him.
I'm not saying it's easy.
No, it's not easy for anyone. I'm just saying he arrived from Japan as a Frenchman. He had it hard and way harder than Bob Bradley, trust me, and Jesse Marsch. Go and do your own research and you will see. But you stay, you battle through whatever is how you stand and how you're going to stay tall through the storm.
I ain't find it hard. I love America and Americans love me. I'm fitting right in.
But you don't think there's a stigma at all?
There's no stigma with Big Meeks.
Jamie, you think there's a stigma of American players in England?
I don't think
or
players.
Manager?
I do think the coaching situation is when you hear an American talk, and obviously when Bob Bradley came over, there was, on shows that's actually, would you believe, called Soccer AM. That was on Sky Sports, and there was obviously a skit of a Premier League manager.
Do you find it hard to take one seriously when you hear an American coach speaking? Do you find it hard to take him serious? Honestly.
I'm not sure. I think with Bob Bradley, you couldn't help almost getting... You're thinking, who is this guy? He's coming, he's getting the mick taken out of him. I wouldn't say so much with Jesse Marsch because he'd managed in Leipzig before that, so like probably recognised teams. But I think if maybe someone came over from the MLS and came into the Premier League, and I was an American, I think if you were one of the players there, I think you'd have to be doing good work on the training pitch. You'd have to be fully convinced that he was a guy you were going to respect or you were going to learn a lot from. And there would be questions there. I think you'd be a liar if you said there wouldn't.
Thierry, I mean, you featured in the Ted Lasso show, am I correct? That show wouldn't exist if this stigma didn't exist around American coaches. Is that fair?
No, it is good for them. And I went on it. But what I'm trying to say, I go back to the same thing. Wrighty is a legend at Arsenal, and we all love Wrighty. But when Arsene Wenger arrived, he said, Arsene who? The player of Arsenal, as we all know. He said, Arsene who? And then he himself said then he understood who he was after, and we all know as Arsenal fans what he did for the club. But what I'm trying to say, his players, when he arrived, were like, Arsene who?
Yeah, but
Arsene won the league in France with Monaco. He did a lot of things, went to the semi-final of the Champions League, but people didn't know what he did. And I go back to the same thing. You need to go in a place, someone's place. You need to go and show them you can. I go back to the same thing.
Do you not think there's a difference, though, between Arsene Wenger, Unai Emery coming into England and almost having to prove themselves? Yes, that's the same for anybody as a player or a manager. But I think what we're trying to say is, as American, are they coming over not just to prove themselves, they always come over as like a little bit of a joke figure?
No,
is that different to a Wenger or a Unai Emery, where we're almost laughing at them because of, you play American football, the way they speak about it?
I do understand that. I just don't agree. I don't see it like that personally. I just think that everyone had it easy. And when Arsene arrived, it was worse than Bob Bradley and Jesse Marsch. Go and do your research. Same thing. It has nothing to do because Arsene was obviously not American or French or whatever. They just didn't know who he was. So they had to go at him. And hard.
Charlie Clint, thanks for dropping in for the argument. Good to see you all.
Of course.
I figured that's the argument.
Just pick Charlie up off the floor.
Hey, what was Charlie saying in the dressing room? They said he was going to cook Henri?
Yeah.
It looked like he got cooked real nice.
Hey,
my boy was sitting in there. My boy been sitting in the crock pot over here.
He was coming in.
Look at you. Look at you, Clint.
Hey.
Hopping on the other side. You were talking, yeah, Charlie, you got it. He said, hey, Charlie, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. He said this.
We're Team Premier League. What are you, bruh?
He's done you there.
You're going to do it like that?
Hey, I'm sorry.
I'm out.
Hey, man, kicking it. That's my kicking it boy right here, man.
Charlie's got to go.
Gotta go.
Charlie's got to go.
What?
I'm just messing with you.
Yo!